This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
My dog's been taken. And I did 3 of them today. I did a little one, a little tiny one, and then I did a really big one. I did a big one, and I'm still raring to go.
That's great, Donny. You're sharing a little bit too much information, you nut job.
Don't be rude.
Some texts and tweets from last night. This says, "You are right, Nick." Well, that sounds unlikely. Read on and find out why. "You are right, Nick," said this text. "They are not all the same. Starmer is far, far worse." Oh, God. Here we go. Right off the bat.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Starmer is far, far worse. I employ 20 people and he is killing small business. He is killing small business. Up to the budget, he didn't do anything about small business. Please do some proper research and stop drinking the Starmer Kool-Aid. Research? Well, let me think about that for a second.
No.
If you're talking about the minimum wage, then if your business relies on paying people a wage they cannot survive on, then perhaps your business is not worth saving. And if you're talking about national insurance, well, you get a pass up to, I think, about over 10 grand on national insurance. In short...
Stop whining.
This text says, after the budget and the reduction of £0.01 on a pint. Do you mean 1 pence? 1 pence? Is that what you mean? £0.01 on a pint. The reduction of a penny a pint, I've done the math. Maths? No. Maths. Maths is plural. Math is singular. That's not right. Although it is actually more accurate because mathematics. But then I suppose the S gets taken off the end and stuck on the TH. It's Spelling with Nick on LBC. Interesting, yes?
No.
After the budget and the reduction of £0.01 on a pint, I have done the math and realised happily that on a night out, I can achieve the cost saving of this budget and get a free pint on my 535th pint. Finally, we have a budget for working people. This says, these are texts and tweets and such from last night. It says, yes, you think it's a good budget because you have no clue. It's so negative right off the bat. It's going to close, many, many small businesses. Pubs, hairdressers, restaurants, you just keep an eye on your local high street in the next 2 years and you will soon see. There aren't any shops open in my local high street. What are open are charity stores. Charity stores and barbers. That's all that's left. It says, did you hear about the couple who bought 60 properties? Yes, 60. And have had to sell their boat to go back to full-time work because of the budget. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I did read about that, yeah. Yeah. They bought 60 properties, and there was a picture of them in the papers, and they were looking sad, like they'd just been had. Keir Starmer did it to them. They bought 60 properties and a boat and claim that they're having to go back to full-time work because of the budget. Just sell a couple of properties for crying out loud. It's not difficult, it's just math. Paul in Coventry says, hi Nick, we saw Johnson's book called Unleashed in Waterstones today, selling at half price, and they still can't get rid of them.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's very, very good with words, weirdly.
Contact tracing. Contact tracing.
Oh, give it up, Bodge. You're never going to get it. This text says, love him or hate him, Trump is a leader. What are you talking about? The world is a very hostile place at the moment, and unfortunately, aggression has to be met with aggression. No, it doesn't. All the world leaders knew that Trump wasn't to be messed with because he is a lunatic, so they was kept at bay. My opinion only. 6 exclamation marks. Like they're yelling at me. Well, they do certainly sound like your fans, Donny.
Don't be rude.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They do sound like your fans. Your lunatic MAGA fans. And on that subject, this says, Look, Nick, Trump said this. Trump. They don't want any more windows. No more windows. They want to take down every building and build a building with no windows in it. I've always been known for having the biggest windows. That sounds exactly like something he would say. He said, I want those windows to be so big right down to the bottom of the floor. I got to change my whole philosophy if you don't vote me in, because I go back to building crazy buildings now and I won't be able to use windows anymore. No, they don't want windows. They don't want cows. They don't want cows. This is a man who has passed a cognitive test.
And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's woman, camera, TV.
That's very, very good, Donny. You passed that test. Now pee into this cup. From here, 0345 6060 973. Luton, Jay.
Good evening, Nick. How are you?
Hello.
Happy Halloween to you. Hello,
Jay.
Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah, happy Halloween to you.
Yes, happy Halloween to you too. Yes, there's nothing
Thank
happy
you.
about it. It's very, very frightening.
On the way to work today, I was listening to your catch-up show, and you were, one of your loyal listeners, myself, is from Azerbaijan.
One of my loyal listeners, yourself?
Yes.
Do you mean one of my loyal listeners and yourself? Or
And
you
myself.
are one of my loyal listeners?
I am.
And
I
you
am
are from
your loyal.
Azerbaijan, right? That is spelled ASEBERGIN. Azerbaijan.
No, it doesn't.
I think you'll find that that's right.
It doesn't. I just wanted to say I just had a holiday for 6 weeks this summer, and it was lovely. And it's a beautiful country.
Where did you go?
Sorry, Baku.
Yeah, but
That's where the cop.
Where is that? Which country?
Azerbaijan.
Oh, Azerbaijan. Well, you should have said that.
Okay.
You went back to Baku in Azerbaijan. Yeah. Spelled A-S-E-B.
And I would like to extend a hand, or invite you there to come with us.
Absolutely. No, I can't. I'm a very, very busy schedule. I'm all booked up.
Have you? We're really famous for this new YouTube vlog. Have you seen it? Country Life. It's called Kent Hayati. Probably you've seen it. They cook in their cuisines like inside the village.
Oh yeah.
They don't talk, but they're just they're doing lots of stuff.
So what do they eat in Baku?
Mainly kebabs.
Yeah, but what's in them? Mystery meat.
Meat, no.
Just
lamb.
Lamb, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Good save. Right at the end there. Yeah, lamb. Poor little lambs, by the way. Bouncy, and then they get a bolt through the forehead.
Yeah, we've got lots of stuff there. Nice fruits, lots of stuff. So
Right.
I would like you to come.
What is your main
next summer.
export?
Main export.
Laughter.
Olive oil.
Olive oil?
Olive oil.
No. Try again.
What's it called? Oil?
Yes. Oil. Petrochemicals is the correct answer.
But I think it's a good place to have the summit there, because it shows the world we can be a leader to keep
I think it's just a gaslighting joke on the planet. They're having COP29, which it can be called absolutely no COP whatsoever. But it's the method by which people fly in on their private jets from all over the world and talk about reducing their carbon emissions. And they're doing it in a country that pretty much only sells gas and oil.
Yes, it is. But it's good. It's good for publicity, so we can change the world.
Tell us tell us two great things about Azerbaijan that don't include dead lambs.
Good things about Azerbaijan. So I'm from there.
No, that doesn't count. We don't know you.
You know me. I've been listening to you for the last
Jay,
12 years.
I have no idea who you are or indeed where you come from.
Anyway, so there's good things, good people, good food, good climate.
Right. But you could say that about anywhere.
Everything.
No, give us something specific. If I was going to spend a weekend in Azerbaijan, what two things should I see? The airport?
Central. We got lots of history as well. I don't know. What are you interested?
History?
Boring.
No, I want to see good things. I want to see pretty things or beautiful things. I want to see impressive buildings and, parks. I want to see nature. I want to be impressed. Go.
Yeah, you can. There's lots of stuff. Like there's like a 9 climates out of 9 climate zones out of 11 of the world. So you can see everything. We grow lemons. So we got everything there.
You have 9 climate zones.
Climates. Yeah, that's what it says on the Google.
Does it?
Google. Yes, it does.
I
So
wouldn't. If my life
olives.
depended on it, I would not be able to point to Azerbaijan on a map. Where's it near?
Oh, don't ask. It's near Russia, Iran, Georgia, Armenia, and Turkey. So really good, really
It's like
good.
a hot
So,
spot. Yeah.
Yes. And anyway, so please visit us.
Yeah, I won't be doing that anytime soon. But thanks for the suggestion, Jay. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. ASEBERGAN. I think you'll find that's right.
This is LBC. Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Oh, hello.
0345 6060 973. Here's a call in Glastonbury. Basil.
Oh, good evening, Nick. How are you?
I am great, mate. Glastonbury. What's it like to live there? Because, I mean, you get to be the centre of the world for, I'd say, a couple of weeks, really.
The roads are horrible for about 2 weeks out of the whole thing.
Well, having tried to drive to there on about 10 different occasions, this was years and years ago, even then, when there was only about 50,000 people went to Glastonbury, it was a nightmare.
I do not blame you. It's a scourge on the community.
Oh, it can't be. The amount of money that you must get every year, you'd miss it if it was gone.
I cannot comment on Sir David Evis' response, but it's awful. The roads are awful, but that's not the point I was trying to comment on.
Okay, what is the point you're trying to comment on?
Well, I was going to comment on your farm tax from the budget.
My farm tax?
Yeah, you've been spouting it recently. I know you love the Keir Starmer and Jeremy Corbyn and all that. But
not really. But go on.
Okay, I say. I don't think I've seen you wearing your poppy recently.
What, have you seen me recently?
Oh, yeah, the global car park.
Yeah, well, there ain't no such thing as a global car park. Try again, Basil.
Oh, what do you mean about that?
Yeah, okay. Nice work. Better luck next time. Farmer from Glastonbury. Anybody believe in that?
No.
Global car park. If we've got a global car park and nobody's told me about it, I'll be absolutely incensed. Phil in Streatham says, "Evening, Nick. I've worked out this year a way of dealing with this dreadful clock change. I prepare our food so we can eat an hour earlier each day, especially the evening meal. This means that we are less tired as we are not hungry. Can't get over the dark arriving like a brick, though, when I was just getting used to the changing seasons. I believe the dinosaurs lived with the seasons. I bet they didn't have any daylight savings." That's right. And look how well they're doing, the dinosaurs. They actually are doing quite well. They're dinosaurs, ducks, and birds in general. And, last time I looked, there was boatloads of them. Yeah, it just, I've decided not to be angry about it this year. I just think, we got to go through the dark to approach the light. If we don't go through the miserable and the cold and the blech for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, then we won't get spring again. That's how I'm looking at it this year, because, what's the point? I can get annoyed about it every year, every blooming year, for apparently no reason whatsoever, other than some cow fondlers from Scotland, not fondlers, farmers, They don't want to be, rooting around a cow's nethers in the dark, so they insist on all of the rest of us getting depressed for the next 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is. But you know me, I never complain.
Stop whining.
Jim in Hassock says, Nick, almost correct, but not completely. Women and Elton John are stupid about shoes. Sorry to keep correcting you. Oh, well, yeah, I was talking yesterday about the sort of the sex divide in the American electorate, and women are going to be voting for Kamala, despite the fact that
I will be so great to women. I cherish women.
he cherishes women with both hands,
I cherish women.
whether they like it or not. You can do anything. So, I was talking about that, and I was encouraging women of America to save us, because women are smarter than men. Men, by and large, stupid morons, are going to vote for the president.
I love the poorly educated.
Women, on the other hand, are going to vote for, the ex-president, I should say. Women are going to vote for Kamala Harris to be the president, despite the fact that...
I can be more presidential than anybody.
Yeah. I know more about being presidential than anybody. And I said that women are smarter than men, with one exception. Shoes. No man in the history... I'll repeat myself. No man in the history of footwear has ever gone out of the house to go to one of, let's say, Boris Johnson's up-all-night business meetings in a pair of shoes that make their legs look great, but in which they cannot walk. And then, armed with that knowledge, they take another pair of shoes with them in their bags to wear later when they're staggering up the street trying to hail a cab. No man has ever done that. So, apart from the shoes thing, women are smarter than men. And Jim in Hassock corrects me. He said, almost correct, Nick, but not completely. Women and Elton John are stupid about shoes. Sorry to keep correcting you. Well, I appreciate you correcting me.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jim. 0345 6060 973. Maidstone. Hello, Tony.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello, Nick.
Yes.
Now, before I talk about Kamala, I went to an FA Cup game. Did you know this year, the FA Cup, there's no replays in the FA Cup this year? No replays.
It's because
I wish they would have
packed schedule.
I wish they would have told the fans that. It was free at Southend. Southend free, Charlton Athletic free. Everyone went home, and even on BBC Sport, a lot of the fans went home, but no replays. Fortunately, Charlton Athletic won 4-3 in extra time added, so I'm very happy today. But yeah, no replays in the FA Cup.
Wait. Why would you leave a game that's 3-3? You just assumed... You assumed that there would be no extra time.
Yes, because a lot of people left, because normally you get replays in the FA Cup.
Right.
But there's no replays this year, so we're in the first round. We won 4-3.
Now, hang on a minute. How long a period was there between ordinary time and extra time? The crowd got up and left.
Well, a couple of people leave before, though, don't they?
I mean, did the players leave the pitch? They don't, do they?
No, not the players.
No, right.
Yeah.
So why would the crowd leave?
Because a lot of them do leave before the actual final time.
Yes, only if it's like 4-0 or something.
Yeah, I know.
Not 3-3. I think your whole story is beginning to fall apart here, Tony.
No, it went home. No, I didn't leave.
Right.
But I generally didn't know, but I stayed to the end because I was in the away end, because we played, I generally didn't know that there was, because normally there's replays in the FA Cup, but not this year, no. And it was on BBC, there was loads of games went to extra time, and a lot of the fans went home thinking that there was a replay.
That's not very fan-ish, then, is it?
No. Anyway, Charlton Athletic won 4-3, so I'm happy.
I bet as they left, they were eating prawn sandwiches. Can you believe that?
Fabulous.
Dreadful.
Yes. Anyway, don't want to make this about football. Kamala Harris. Now, I spoke to you, I think it was last week, maybe the week before last. she's going to win this. I'm sure she is. It's very close, isn't it? It's very exciting. What do you reckon?
I think that the polls are weirdly too close. And somebody was writing about this, and I read the headline and then forgot to read the article. But it was in the Washington Post. yeah. But it was saying that actually it might have been CNN. It was saying that the pollster was saying, I don't believe that the polls are this close. I think that the people who are setting the polls and then reporting on them are essentially colluding to make it seem more tight than it is, because they don't want to say one way or the other for fear of upsetting one camp or another, particularly the screaming Mimi, who seems to make it his mission in life to get back at anybody that's been mean or nasty.
Yeah, do you not think it's funny though? Now I didn't realise. I know that there's billions and billions of dollars spent in like the elections in America, but Julia Roberts has come out with an advert this week, isn't she?
Is she?
I didn't know that about. I don't think that they should be allowed to do that. But they're having like adverts saying, "Oh, okay." Do you know what I mean when I say like Julia Roberts did like an advert?
Well, I know who Julia Roberts is.
Yeah, but she was. Yeah, they do all like these adverts saying.
And you don't think that they should be allowed to do that? Why not?
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but
you just did. You just did
it?
Say that. So you don't think that celebrities should be able to do an advert to express their opinion one way or another?
Oh, yes, I do, yes.
Right.
So I think you've got me, I think you misunderstood me.
Go ahead.
But it's just incredible that, that they've got all these celebrities for, like, trying to, like, spend, get, like, the women to vote and saying what stays in the booth. It's just incredible what goes on over there.
Well, essentially, women are being encouraged to not listen to their men folk who would encourage them to vote for Donald Trump. Well, who are you going to vote for, darling? They would say. I've seen some of those ads, actually. And if you are in a voting booth, nobody knows who you vote for. So you can tell your husband, yes, dear, I voted for the orange Oompa Loompa, just like you told me to. But they can actually vote for whoever they like, and nobody knows.
Yeah, I know. I do agree with it. So I think that is a really good thing. But it's incredible what goes on over there.
It is.
But we need to keep our fingers crossed, because I said this a few weeks ago. I think Kamala will just sneak it. And your glamorous assistant, I'm not going to mention any names, he reckons it's 276 to Kamala, and he predicted Donald Trump winning in 2016. So I think she's going to win.
Who predicted that?
Your glamorous assistant, Aaron.
Right. Without mentioning any names. Right. So he's like the new octopus, is he? He can predict the future.
Yeah.
I think that Kamala Harris will get more votes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she'll win, because Hillary Clinton got more votes than the screaming Mimi, and what's his name? He got more votes than George W. Bush.
Absolutely.
And he lost too. Can't remember what his name is. I can picture him. Can't remember what his name is. I can picture him pointing to a map and predicting that it's going to be underwater. He's probably pointing to Valencia at the time. And everybody said, no.
No?
Yeah, and then come to find out. Thanks a lot, Tony, for, whatever that was. 0345 6060 973. I can't believe that it's. Well, I was about to say that we're about to find out who won one way or another, but I actually very much doubt that we are. If you're expecting the result to be the next day, then I would pause that thought and take a deep breath. And if we know before the end of the year, I will be a bit surprised. It's going to go through every court in America and end up at the Supreme Court, and they're going to say, well, whatever Donald Trump said, we agree with that. Sam says, Nick, I think you're right when you say that the Earth won't miss us. Remember how clear the sky was and how much nature came to life during the lockdown, and that was just a few months. Yes, I do. It was as though nature peeked its head out of the bush and said, They're gone. That noise has stopped. It's wonderful. Yeah, it didn't take very long at all, did it? And that was, I know that a lot of people had a very, very hard time on that first lockdown, about the first 3 weeks of 2020, the first 3 months of 2020, well, the spring of 2020. But, I mean, if you had a garden and you didn't have very much to do, it was absolute bliss. It was like a 3-month holiday because the weather was fantastic. And it has been totally rubbish ever since. Oh, well, never mind. You know me, I never complain.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
What in blazes goes on inside that head of yours?
Don't ask. Tessa texts, on the topic of men and inappropriate shoes, I recently saw a local male street drinker wobbling over Cardiff's River Taff via the Canton Bridge in a pair of women's stilettos that looked several sizes too big. Well, he must have looked like an idiot, wearing shoes several sizes too big. Like a kid clomping about in his mum's shoes. And Sam says, Nick, I think you're right when you say that the earth won't miss us. No, I just read that one about the lockdown. Yes, it was marvellous. Yeah, I just read that one. This says, Nick, in a simple timescale, Earth is 24 years old and humans have inhabited it for 3 seconds. And look what we've done. Yeah, look upon our work and weep. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Merthyr Tydfil, hello, Jeff.
Well, Nick, how are you, boy?
I am great, mate.
I was very interested today to hear on one news piece, or yesterday, can't remember, that South Korea is supplying weaponry, artillery pieces, huge shells, full works, to the Ukrainians.
Who's doing that now?
Now, you know, we've got an equivalent of if Trump is a space hopper, then the guy in North Korea is a space hopper as well.
Well, I know.
He's sending, they're both sending.
It's totally spherical. Yeah, he's like
to either side in Ukraine.
He's like a giant ball with a head on top. Yeah, no offence. Hello? Are you there, Jeff? I think he's refreshed.
Booze.
He's sounding a little bit refreshed. I think he's just hung up on himself, which saves me the trouble. Oh, there you are.
I'm back.
Yes. Are you having difficulty operating your phone?
No, yeah, well, it's difficult.
Right, it should come with instructions, but they don't, do they?
The modern phones.
How about that? They sell you computers and phones without an instruction book. You have to go online to look up how to use a thing that you need instructions to go online to use. There's a hole in my bucket. Dear Liza, dear Liza.
Do you think that this South Korea seems to be very irate about everything? Is this spreading to a conventional war?
Don't you mean North Korea?
North Korea, South Korea.
Same thing?
Iran.
No, not the same thing.
Yeah. Everybody's having a go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I have no idea
You
what
don't
you
know
mean.
what
Right
I mean.
No, not a clue. No, I don't think you do either.
I was hoping you could illuminate.
I could, sort your mind out for you. No, that's going to take a little longer than I've got, Jeff. Sorry about that. Appreciate the call. That'll be 150 quid, please. 0345 6060 973. And I know what you're thinking. That wasn't an hour. Yeah, well, I'm charging you for an hour. I've got a lot of notes to write up. You get 5 minutes and then I write notes for 55. See you next week. Di says, yes, the Earth will shrug us off. If we all follow the billionaires into space, we can conquer new worlds to screw up. So suit up, we're going in. Or out, to be more accurate, says Di. Matt Wickham says, scientists predict that if you burnt every tree on the planet, it would take 1 million years for the atmosphere to recover, but it would recover. If you dug up every drop of oil and burnt it, it would take the atmosphere 10 million years to recover, but it would recover. The Earth would still be here, but we wouldn't. And that ain't such a bad thing in my opinion, says Matt in Wickham. Well, I've got to agree with you there, Matt. I've met people and I'm not keen. People have had their chance and they blew it. Sunbury, Darren.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I am great, mate.
You need to get with the times, my friend.
Do I?
Get with the phones.
I need
Get
to
with
be
everything.
hip
You need to get
and
with the
with
internet.
it. Yeah.
I don't know why you're complaining in a new age, my friend.
The new age.
You're complaining.
The internet is the new age to you, is it? Darren,
It is to
step
you.
into the 1990s. You never know, you might like it. The new age.
Well,
You just got dial-up in Sunbury, have you?
I think I was a little bit upset that you're not wearing your poppy today, my friend.
He doesn't know I'm wearing
don't
my
understand.
poppy or I'm not wearing my poppy. He's never seen me. There is no such thing as the
Why
company
aren't you?
car
Why
park.
aren't you?
How do you know I'm
Why
not?
aren't you, my
I could
friend?
be dressed as a poppy. I could have come to work in a poppy suit.
Where's the selfie, my friend?
Yeah, I don't take selfies.
I used to be a plumber, and every time it was November time, I would dress up with a poppy on my chest, and people used to absolutely love it. Honestly.
They used to love you wearing a poppy on your chest or dressing
because
up
it
as
was
a poppy.
No, it was respect. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And so you only show respect for a week a year.
Yeah, I don't care about the rest of the week. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, well, good point. Thanks a lot, Darren. Tristan in Birmingham says, "Hi, Nick. The problem with the argument about people with private healthcare not using the NHS is that they will need it in an emergency." Let me remind you that these are texts and tweets from last night. Private healthcare companies do not have blue light ambulances or A&E, so however much people pay into their policies, they will need the NHS in a life or death situation, says Tristan. Yes, but it's more all-encompassing than that, though, Tristan. If you go to private healthcare, then you will be treated by somebody who was probably trained by the NHS and probably works in the NHS. You will, if you've taken a cab to that private hospital, be driven there probably by somebody who has used the NHS in one form or another. They may have been born courtesy of the NHS, or any illness that they may have had would have been treated by the NHS. And so even if you only use private healthcare, your life is dependent on the healthcare that everybody else gets. All of the people that work for you, all of the people in the shops you go to, all the plumbers festooned with poppies for 1 week only per year, showing their RESP TCP. They will have used the NHS. You can't get by just using private healthcare, because nobody on earth can get by on that, because they're always reliant on people who have relied on state provision of healthcare. Tanya says, Nick, a pint of beer was 2 shillings in 1964, as in 10p. That just sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? 10 pence a pint. And I bet it tasted better then as well. It's just fizzy pop these days. It's as though they're trying to sell alcohol to children. I mean, there's particular brands that do cover their glasses, because, you know, beers tend to come with their own dedicated glassware now. And there's some that cover their glasses with cartoons, which I would suggest appeal more to children than they do adults. What's that about? I thought Alco Pops was gone. And the beer that they put in those glasses, it's just so fizzy. It's like, I don't know, it just seems unnatural. Actual proper beer tastes of, it tastes of the water that you've been washing your socks in, and looks about the same. This says, I remember paying about one stroke 10D. Now, it took me a while to figure that out. Blimey, it's been a long time. Been a long lonely time.
Rock and roll!
Says, I remember paying about 1 and 10. 1-10D, 1 and 10, 1 shilling and 10 pence, kids, for a brown and mild in 1968 when I was 15. Yes, it was illegal, but I did it anyway. What's a brown and mild? Sounds like river water. Ugh. 0345 6060 973. Cornwall, Malcolm.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Yes, sir.
I was just, I had your mute there. I was listening to the Sky Press preview. But hey, look, Nick.
The stuff you missed, Malcolm. Seriously.
Yeah, but Nick, as a long-term listener, I say, 6-7 years now.
Yes.
I really appreciate the special subscription. And the camera you got up there in studio is showing you looking gorgeous in that poppy suit. And I think the big poppy on your chest, Nick, that is gorgeous. If only the new members to your show could see it.
I know. The red goes with my eyes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could we have a better camera, Nick, more pixels? Because you look gorgeous, I have to say, right?
I rarely agree with anything you say, but in this case I'm going to make an exception.
But anyway, look, new members, I didn't say that. Nick isn't wearing a poppy suit, and we haven't got a special camera.
Right.
But Nick, look.
Get on with this.
Eddie Redmayne is up for an Oscar.
All right, don't tell me. Don't tell me. He's playing somebody with a mental illness.
No.
He's playing... wait, don't tell me. He's playing somebody who only has weeks to live.
No.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. He's playing somebody who has a terrible disability of some sort.
No, you're overplaying this now, Nick.
Well, am I right or not?
No, Eddie Redmayne is up for an Oscar for the part he's playing, promoting the part he's playing in the film he's in.
Wait a minute, back up. He's up for an Oscar for promoting the part he's playing
in a film.
Right, not for being in a film, but for being in an advert for a film.
Yes, an advert for his own film. Look, Nick, I forgive you misery.
Impossible. How can he be up for an Oscar for being in an advert for a film? What are you talking about?
Because he is promoting himself in the old, I think it was James Fox film of an assassin. What was it called? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a TV program. The Jackal.
No, it's
The Jackal.
Yeah,
and you don't get an Oscar for being in a TV show.
Oh, but look, you're missing my point.
What's your point?
It's an obscure show on Sky pay to view that I'm not going to see. You're probably not going to see. Nobody will see.
Oh, I'm going to see it.
It's all on Sky News.
Yeah.
But Nick, it's a remake of an awfully boring film.
No, it wasn't boring. It was a very good film, The Jackal.
God. It was like a 3-hour film.
Was it?
A 3-hour film.
3 hours?
Ugh,
so dull. 3 hours?
Boring.
Ugh, who wants to watch that?
But anyway...
There was that bit where he was shooting a melon, and then he swapped it for the exploding bullet, and then the melon went all over the place. That's the only bit I remember.
Oh, that's a different film. You're mixing your films.
That's The Jackal, isn't it?
Look, we got
is this thing on?
Oh,
hello? Can you hear me?
Let me move on. Nick, we got a new Conservative Party leader.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that great?
No.
Yeah. Should we go on talking about the Day of the Jackal? That's even more interesting.
Yeah.
But Nick, look, I watched it, and when the two of them walked into the room, I thought, oh my God, look at Jenrick. He looks really happy. He must have been told he's the winner. and 3 minutes later, he learned he was the loser.
Right.
And honest to God, and you know me, Nick.
No.
I'm not a racist. I'm a happy Welshman from Cornwall.
You just know a lot of racists. Yeah, you're not personally a racist. All of your best friends are racists. Mm-hmm.
I'm a happy Welshman from Cornwall.
Yes.
But I saw the winner, and Jenrick, in a room where the winner was the only... Literally, honest to God, I swear to you.
Well, maybe he looked happy because somebody had painted over some children's cartoons in the room that they were in.
Yeah, but the whole thing was absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, any contest that Kemi Badenoch wins is by definition bizarre.
But Nick, look, Saturday I know, and this is happy time, right?
HAPPY-ness. Yes.
Kemi Badenoch was literally the only blackface in the room after the Conservative leadership election results.
Yeah, that part I believe.
She won it.
Yeah, she won it. Yeah.
She won it. Look,
I mean, that is an indication of the competition and how demoralised the Tory faithful are.
Yeah. Oh, Nick, it was a sad. Look, as a Labour supporter, this is such a monumental happy day because it's we've got a new Conservative leader.
Yeah.
I'm not happy for that Conservative leader because she's got a miserable year. I sent you a text earlier where she's unhappy that she's been she's been announced as the short-term leader of the Conservative Party, which is
taking over the sinking ship for a brief period of time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. In a party, Nick, that has, I think, it's died, but the party doesn't know it yet.
No, that's right.
I think Nigel Farage he will be, Nick, the new leader of
don't say it.
Of the members of that party.
Right.
Nigel Farage will
Nigel
be the
Farage,
leader.
the MP for Mar-a-Lago, is going to be the new leader of the Conservative Party after Kemi Badenoch gets shown the door.
No, it won't be the Conservative Party. He will be the leader of the membership of the former Conservative Party.
Right.
You trust me, my friend.
No, I don't trust you.
The Conservative Party, honestly, it killed itself today.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. It's one death you can celebrate with good conscience. Malcolm, I've got to go, but thanks for that. And whatever it was you were about to say, that's the part I appreciate the most.
Thank you.
Thank you for not saying it.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbott. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
They're eating the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
It's a total disgrace. Mark in Bristol says, when I was 15 in 1975, we used our dinner money to get a pint and a chip butty at lunchtime for 25p in the local pub. The chip butty was 14p. I find that hard to believe. Don't you? 75. I mean, 75 was a year. Oh, what a year 1975 was. Apart from the hair and the clothes. Everything else was great. It says, if you love Irish names, look up the Liverpool goalkeeper Kelleher. His first name is Irish alphabetic spaghetti. And I've done homework. Can you believe that?
No.
And I've looked it up. His brother is called Fiacre Kelleher. Fiacre. Fiacre. Or Fiacre. And the chap that he's talking about is, well, I mean, I've got absolutely no idea how to even begin to pronounce that. I'll probably give myself a hernia if I went ahead and tried. Caoimhin. Caoimhin. Which is almost certainly not how it's pronounced. It's probably pronounced John. Caoimhin. Chaoimhin. Oh, God, he's got a middle name. A middle name!
Warning!
No, I can't. I just can't. John says, regarding the price of a pint, when I was 18 in 1957, a pint of bitter in my local was 1 shilling and 6 pence, or 7.5 pence in modern parlance. 7.5p, yeah. And you tell that to the kids today, and they'll go, what are you talking about, Grandad? Grandad? What, you little... I got charged over £20 for 2 pints in a bar round these parts just recently.
What?
Yeah, over 20. I think it was £21.25, something like that, for 2 pints. Which, I think I've mentioned this before, included Service charge. What? Service charge, despite the fact that I went to the bar and ordered the pints with my own mouth and then carried them in my hands back to my own table. So all they did was pour it, and they gave me a service charge. 15%. 15% service. Adding up to, I think, £21.25 for 2 pints. Unbelievable. And landlords say they're going out of business. It's mystifying, ain't it?
No.
0345 6060 973. Bath. Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
As you know, my name's John, and that is exactly how you pronounce my name.
Yeah, and you're in Bath. That's spelled BAOIZHTVP.
Apostrophe, comma, XXZ.
Yeah.
And,
exclamation mark.
Do you know what you just said? It's just it's sparked up a kind of a memory, because I recently came back to London, and I was near your neck of the woods. I was in Leicester Square.
Oh, yeah.
And I went into one of those big Irish theme bars against my will.
Yes.
And I think you know the one. I'm not going to mention it, but it's got a huge tree growing through the middle of it.
What, a real one?
Yeah, it's died, and they've basically painted it with wax and kind of.
Did it die before they did that, or
I think so, or they killed it to do it. I'm not sure, but I had the same thing. It was like Russian roulette. From each place we moved to, the differentiation of pint prices changed. So it went. I got charged in that particular pub 26 something quid for a couple of pints, and they put service charge on it.
26?
And it was a service charge. And after I actually questioned it, he said, "But you don't have to pay it." I said, "Well, why didn't you ask me before I..."
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I was going to say this to you. I don't know whether you're being trolled. All of you fellas that keep ringing up about Poppies, get back in your box. Because it's not big and it's not clever.
No.
And not only this, it's not, it's called the last refuge of a scoundrel for a reason. I mean, patriotism isn't measured by a deed or a token or a badge.
Yeah.
How many of these guys actually give to the British Legion?
We pretend that we care by giving a pound or less if we think we can get away with it for a poppy that we proudly either put on our jacket or on the front of our car. And if it's a car, then we'll leave it there sometimes for the whole year just to show how patriotic we are. And for the rest of the year, we completely ignore the plight of the veterans.
But Nick, exactly. And I remember during just after the Falkland Wars, how many veterans were on the streets of Trafalgar Square. And the thing is, though, these guys that say all this stuff, it's the same kind of mentality that led to those people going and protesting next to the cenotaph in the name of patriotism.
Yeah, I think that they see their own lack of patriotism and they try to make themselves feel better about that by attacking others.
And that's not the reason I'm ringing. I actually wanted to mention...
Well, sadly, we've just run out of time. I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead.
It won't be long.
Yes? Can you do it to music?
Robert Smith on the channels with the BBC. I just wish he would actually groom himself like David Bowie does and actually stop wearing the arms.
Yeah, it's way too late. It's way too late for him to be looking like that. I mean, that's kids' stuff. You're supposed to change with age.
I know.
He just
looks
ridiculous wearing that fright gear.
I know.
Yeah.
He's very talented, Nick.
No doubt. Yeah, but he needs a stylist. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to take a leaf out of David.
Or a barber. Yeah, just something. Yeah. Or some products in his hair. He does need to use more products in his hair. Thanks a lot, John.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it?
This text says, I couldn't agree more about these private school parents. We have less takeaways and holidays, while most folk can't even afford a Lion bar at the moment. Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired of the most well-off complaining about their plight. When will rich people ever get a break? Please. David Milton Keynes says, 10p a pint. When decimalisation came in 1971, I paid 17 pence. This was Aylesbury and I was 25. I should have moved to Yorkshire. And Nick, I agree. Who wants to listen to the Tories? Just goes to show how dopey they... I'll read it as it's written. Hi, Nick. I agree. With what? Who wants to listen to the Tories? Just goes to show how dopey they don't realise that if they weren't so corrupt, greedy and stupid, they'd still be in power. Does that make sense?
No.
I kind of get it. And this says, if posh schools can't afford VAT, how come they can afford a lord to fight their case at a reported £5,000 an hour? That's that guy called Panic. Yeah. He's the same guy that I think represented Bodger Johnson in his up-all-night business meetings fiasco. How did that go for you, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
Can't comment on that. Blah, 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 blah. We paid for it, though, didn't we? Yes. Yes, we did. Yeah. You put the bill on us. Us poor dopes who pay taxes. You believe that? Westminster. Hello, Betty.
Hello?
Yes, Betty.
Oh, sorry, I'm just crawling back. It's a very long wait.
From where?
Does it matter?
Well, were you under a rock or from the smallest room in the house?
Yes, I haven't got a house. I've got a little tiddly flat.
A little tiddly flat and you crawl around it. That's odd.
Yeah, I'm a hoarder. But anyway, let's not go there.
I think we already have.
So, Kemi,
yeah.
What an own goal by the Tories. They're gleeful. They think she's this amazing orator. The woman hasn't got an idea in her head. I haven't heard a single policy. I watched the last two elections. I mean, it's kind of wish fulfillment. They want her to be this great beast. I should imagine Labour are hugging themselves with joy because she is not an opposition. I don't know what you think.
I think that the Labour Party were probably delighted that it came down to the last two, and they couldn't really be bothered which one won. It was whoever won was a win for the Labour Party.
Yeah, but Jenrick at least had the bravery to go out there and you know, have policies. I mean, I'm not a Tory, but at least she just avoided everything. I mean, I think I'll go into politics. I'll do a Boris, keep my mouth shut, avoid everyone, not do any interviews, not make any gaffes. Yeah. Say you're working class if you work at Mackie D.
That's the opposite of Boris, though. Everything you just said is the opposite. Keep a low profile and keep your mouth shut. There's a man who's never been able to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah. Wait.
Ever.
Yeah, but he did avoid quite a lot of confrontations towards the end.
Well, he avoided working. We can agree on that.
That's true. But I'm just thinking about, I used to work at the Voice newspaper yonks ago. The first black this, the first black that, the first black... that was 30 years ago. Why are we still singing that boring old song? It shows how far we haven't gone.
We haven't gone, yeah. And that's what people are concentrating on, rather than what this black person actually says and does.
Well, she doesn't say and do anything. She's incredibly unimpressive. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Not because I like the Tories, but just because I don't want to slag someone off endlessly who I don't believe is very good. Right. I hope she surprises me, but I've got a feeling she won't. She won't, because no. I don't think because I've seen her, she can't think on her feet, can she?
What you see is what you get, and that's what the Tories have got, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving bunch of people. Thanks a lot, Betty. You can go ahead and crawl back to wherever it was that you were crawling from now.
Yeah, I'll go on to another tunnel. Thank you.
All right, cheers, my dear. Kemi Badenoch insisted it is time to get down to business today after being named the new Tory leader. Business? What business? Thinking up ways to blame minorities for everything that ails the nation? As opposed to if Robert Jenrick had won, when it would have been time to get down to business, thinking up ways to blame immigrants for everything that ails the nation. Do you see the difference?
No.
The Shadow Housing Secretary emerged victorious over rival Robert Jenrick as a result of a ballot of Conservative Party members who were the geniuses that gave us Liz Truss as Prime Minister.
Absolutely.
What could possibly go wrong? In her speech, Kemi Badenoch paid tribute to Rishi Sunak and also praised Robert Jenrick's energy. Which is not in any way two-faced, considering she spent the entire time in a desperate search for the love of the Tory members, telling them what an absolute shower was Rishi Sunak and what an unhinged loon was Robert Jenrick. I paraphrase for comic effect. But she acknowledged that the previous government had, quotes, let standards slip. What standards? I didn't think they had any standards to let slip. And she said that the party must woo back voters. How are they going to do that? Invite them to a golf club social? Put them on their Christmas card list? How about not saying anything for the next 5 years and hope that we forget about the past 14? And then in one of those richly comic outbursts we've come to love from her, Badenoch said of her rival, with whom she had traded blows for over a month straight, that she had come through this campaign more united. Yeah, more united in her hatred for him. Badenoch said Keir Starmer had given the Tories an opportunity with his shaky start. The PM is discovering all too late the perils of not having a plan, she said. Well, I think the plan seems to be going pretty well, I'd say. I mean, the Labour Party have so far addressed the catastrophic bin fire that the Tories left. They've revivified the wind power revolution. They've announced a green infrastructure fund. They've set up a British energy company to be run for the benefit of the nation rather than the benefit of Tory donors. They've announced the renationalisation of the railways. They've given local authorities control over local buses. They've introduced measures for free breakfast clubs in every primary school. They've liberalised the planning regime to get more housing built. They've improved workers' rights. They've increased the minimum wage, scrapped the ruinously expensive gimmick of Rwanda, started to sort out the mess of the justice system left by the Tories, quelled the far-right riots, announced a big boost to the NHS, made the tax system fairer, and made Jeremy Clarkson angry. I mean, I could go on. And what exactly has Kemi Badenoch done for the nation? Apart from sow division, point the finger of blame at the poorest in society, and go on endless television programmes to bask in the glory that is her. She received 53,806 votes to 41,388 for Robert Jenrick. That's 53% to 47. Closer than many expected. Turnout was 72.8% of the 131,000 activists. So over a quarter couldn't be bothered. During the campaign, the candidates aimed brutal barbs at each other, with Badenoch questioning Jenrick's integrity and him suggesting that the Conservatives will die with her at the helm. Will die? That's future tense. Isn't it more accurate to say has died? I mean, it's not really the Conservative Party anymore, is it? That died a while ago. I think it was Mr. Blobby who did 'em in. The clown show took over and everything was bent to suit the dear leader. It became the Bodger Party. And then it was the Looney Tunes world for a brief moment of unhinged lunacy. Ain't that right, Liz?
I'm genuinely unclear.
She's still unclear. And then it was Mr. Integrity. You remember?
This government.
This government. A man who was who gaslit more than BP and took the party of Margaret Thatcher and Ted Heath and John Major and turned it into a sort of Nigel Farage appreciation society.
I'm a nutcase.
It's not the Tory party, just like it's not the Republican Party in America anymore. They've both been taken over by extremist hate mongers. Both ignore their own record of total failure and moral bankruptcy and blame everyone else at the bottom of the ladder for what those on the top of the ladder have done to the nation. It's all immigrants and benefits cheats and layabouts and immigrants and... Did I mention immigrants?
Yes.
Yeah. And just like the Republicans, the Tories have made it more difficult to get rid of a hopeless leader. The threshold for triggering a Tory no-confidence vote has been raised from 15% of MPs to 33%. So they'd have to be really, really bad. Not just clown car bad like you, Blobby.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And experts say that Badenoch faces a mammoth task to restore Tory fortunes and see off the threat from reform. Not least because she's quite unlikable. I mean, anyone with that sense of superiority, that supercilious, that condescending, someone so scornful and snobby and lofty and imperious, isn't going to ingratiate herself into the hearts of the great British public. Unless they're funny. Ain't that right, Bodge? Yeah. Or even unintentionally funny. Like you, Smug.
I don't know anything.
That's why we don't like the blundertruss. Too disdainful, too contemptuous, not amusing, intentionally. I mean, ordinarily, we Brits like an underdog. We would have been rooting for her in the battle against the superior lettuce, for instance. But she was so arrogant that we couldn't help but back the vegetable.
That is a disgrace.
So go on with the hate-filled ranting and the blaming of the weakest and the poorest, Kemi Badenoch. And your party will be stuck with you. And the ship will go down with 121 soulless on board, all blaming each other. Full speed ahead.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbot. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
What's he got to be depressed about?
Darkness, the onset of winter, miserable, cold, damp, that sort of thing. York, hello, Jan.
Hello, Nick. How are you tonight?
I am super, thanks for asking.
Good. A couple of weeks ago on the What's Your Problem podcast, you were talking about tea bags and how much paper must be wasted making them.
Yeah, that was me and Carol on the What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol podcast, which is available on the internet near you. Ask for it by name, What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think you'll find it amusing.
But apart from the paper, did you know that they all, nearly all of them contain plastic?
Tea bags? Yeah, we were talking about this, and the mountain of paper that must be used every year from people just using tea bags instead of leaf tea, which is almost impossible to find in a supermarket. They just don't stock it, do they?
I don't know. I don't drink much tea, so I haven't really looked for...
I'm enjoying a lovely cup of tea at the moment, as a matter of fact, made with a tea bag, sadly.
Well, you're drinking plastic as well.
Plastic, yeah. I don't doubt, and no end of chemicals that have been used to bleach the paper of the bag. And the tea that's in there, because you can't see it, it's in the bag itself, it's just dust. It's basically just the stuff that they sweep up off the floor. I don't know that this is true, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's the stuff they just sweep up off the floor and then stick it in a bag. And the good stuff they put in a box and sell it at 10 times the price in Fortnum's.
Yes. I used to put the few tea bags that I do use, I used to put them in the compost bin.
Yeah.
And months later, you look in your bin, get this good stuff out, and there'd be all these bags, they haven't composted down.
Really?
Yeah. So...
that would be the plastic, then?
Yeah, that was before I knew about the plastic.
Huh.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Honestly, people stop buying, unless they're advertising with us, in which case it is a handy and convenient way to enjoy your daily cuppa. But if they're not, then it just seems insane that we use tea bags. I mean, how busy are you that you can't just pour water through leaves, for crying out loud?
Yeah. Well, as I say, I don't drink much tea, so...
You should force yourself, Jan.
I should, but I don't really like it,
How about if you had a biscuit with it? Because we were talking about that. There used to be an advert that tea's too wet without a biscuit, and there is truth in that.
What's your favourite?
I don't really eat biscuits. I just take my tea neat. I'm weird that way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do you want like a chocolate digestive?
No, not really. If I'm going to eat something with it, it'll be like a savoury treat rather than sweet.
Right.
Yeah. Sweet enough as it is.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Can I just say one more thing? Different subject.
Okay, then. Yes.
You know when you were you lost your voice and you had to miss a couple of shows, didn't you?
Awful.
Have you ever heard that song that someone made up for you?
What song? No.
It's called "Get Well Soon, Nick." Have you not heard it?
Well, where did it appear?
It's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah. If you look up, go onto YouTube and just look up "Get Well Soon, Nick."
And it's an actual song that somebody recorded and then stuck up the internet to wish me... No, I never even heard of it.
They've mixed all sorts of bits of your clips on it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So somebody actually went to some effort.
Yeah, definitely.
Blimey.
They spelt your name wrong, but that's, never mind. Yeah, get well soon, Nick.
Not too much effort then. I mean, they couldn't be bothered to look up how my name is spelt, but they went to the trouble of, writing a little ditty. Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, get well soon, Nick.
Yeah.
I think we all care. Need your voice back on the air.
Oh.
It's very good.
Well, I'll look that up. I'll look it up at my leisure. I don't think I have actually got better yet.
No.
Since I got it, my voice is... Because there is crackle in the voice. Can you hear that? It's not as clean and pure as it used to be. Yeah, like a bell it used to be. Pure. Now it's a little bit crackly. It's a little bit Rod Stewart. It's a little bit, rock and roll! A little bit rock and roll.
You feel okay, though? Doesn't hurt?
Well, it hurts mostly all over, Jan.
Oh.
But apart from that...
But you never complain?
No, I'm not one to whine, no.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
All right, thanks a lot, Jan. Cheers, my dear. Ta-ra, 0345 6060 973. Here, have I done the break yet? He doesn't know. He's got no idea. He don't care. He says, I'm not bothered. I only work here. What's it got to do with me? He said. He literally said that. Can you believe that? One moment, please. Your call is important to us. Hey, this logs all the sound effects that I play. I never knew that. Oh, my God, there's a record of all the sound effects I play. That's alarming.
Warning, warning.
Yeah, it's just logged that one now. I had no idea that this is weird. This is like being stalked. Help, I'm being abused. No, I don't think I have. No, I think I have. No, maybe I haven't. Or maybe I have. I'm looking, but I don't know how to tell. I'll just do it anyway, and then I'm safe. What? Huh?
You have.
I have done.
Yes, I just checked.
He's checked. Okay, finally. Some professionalism on this show. But I did not know it did that. It's recording everything I'm doing. It's a bit like when you are on social media and you see that somebody that you are always rude about is following you on social media. That's happened a couple of times. And I'm thinking, why is that person following me? Other than to get evidence to use against me. Yeah, there's some people I never say a good word about at all ever who are following me on social media.
Oh, no.
And I do find that a little bit concerning, to be honest. It's a little bit alarming. This text says, Nick, I'm making my wife a lovely meal tonight. Nothing romantic. I'm just showing her how to cook properly. A listener with the material. Marion says, I love your show, but please don't take the mick out of Irish names. E.g., Siobhan or Niamha are from Irish Gaelge. Gaelge. Gaeilge. Is that a word? Irish stroke Gaelge. That the English, just like Jacob Rees-Mogg...
I don't know anything.
...are ignorant of. Well, he's ignorant of absolutely everything.
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
He's just such a grey sigh of a man, isn't he? Anyway, it says, take note of that the Irish language exists and is actually alive and well after a hell of a fight to exist. So, Siobhan or V Niamha is where the BH or MH is a V sound. I recommend anyone to learn some Irish. It's a romantic Celtic joy. Did anybody understand anything in that message?
No.
Not just me. Apparently, a message from next door, Gaelge means the Irish language and is almost certainly not how you pronounce it.
Correct.
Well, can you meet us halfway? I mean, just give us a clue, crying out loud. Glenn in Blackpool says, can a boy aged 37 wear pink shoes and trainers outside and indoors? Because I am a male boy and I am wearing pink shoes and trainers indoors tonight, just to let you know. No, Glenn. And furthermore...
No.
You should take your shoes and trainers off when you go indoors, if you wear them outside. You can have indoor shoes, but you can't wear your outdoor shoes indoors. I don't care what colour they are. This says, I've always been told by people who send their kids to these schools that other parents just need to care about education more. These parents care about education. Guess they'll just have to they'll just have to care 20% more. That's right. Exactly. Yeah, you'll just have to up your caring, that's all. And stop moaning about it. 0345 6060 973. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, evening, Nick. Yeah. Let's get the worst over first. I have a complaint.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, you suggested I was lying when I said I'd seen Margaret Thatcher on a zip wire.
Margaret Thatcher on it. Yeah, but it wasn't a zip wire. It was a bosun's chair. I think a zip wire indicates something you do for amusement. A bosun's chair is a method of taking a person from ship to ship.
He was suspended off a wire anyway. Last night you suggested I was mad because I said a pint was 10 pence in 1970.
There is no evidence that exchange ever happened.
Okay, that's the complaint over the back bit. I'd like to start a petition that we refer to Kenny from now on as Bad Enoch. It's much more appropriate and humorous.
Well, I mean, she's actually almost forcing us to do that by dint that her name is actually Bad Enoch.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so anyway. But, yeah, another daft quickie on the other one. People have been sort of referring to Trump as a space opera. Well, try this for yourself. See what you think, Nick. When I saw him in that dustman's outfit,
yes,
what it reminded me of immediately was South Park. Big round body, little head poking out the top, bright costume,
exactly,
and walking in funny little movements.
Cartman, yes. I've said this many times. America is on the verge of electing Cartman to be their president.
Oh, shut up!
The world's worst cartoon character is about to be the world's most powerful person.
It really is bizarre. And then the insult he came out with when he said Biden's lost his mental faculties and Kamala was born that way.
Yeah, and all of the oxygen in the room on the right-wing TV channels has been taken up by them clutching their pearls and going into a Victorian fainting fit about Joe Biden saying that to Trump, whether he said Trump's fans are garbage or whether he meant that he was actually speaking about the comedian who said that Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. And then Biden answered that, and they maybe took his words wrong. I don't know what he meant. I can't get into his mind. But it doesn't make any difference, because Trump has used the words garbage about his political opponents and their supporters hundreds of times. But he usually says they're garbage and they're scum. So I guess the "and their scum" part makes it okay.
It's the level of discourse is just completely inappropriate.
It's unbelievable.
And we get this 2 years after they've done it, don't we? So I mean, where are we going to go with it?
The American people seem to have lost their... Well, half of them seem to have lost their mind. Here's the choice, people. You've got a woman who wants to respect a woman's right to decide on her own health, and who wants to provide education for children, and who wants to provide for the poorest in society, versus a guy who says...
The American dream is dead.
And half the country think, well, I don't know, it's so difficult, because on the one hand there's an orange Nazi, and on the other hand there's a woman who laughs with her mouth open. How can you choose between those?
It's madness, and that you've got politics now down to the state of saying, oh, well, most women will vote for Kamala.
Yeah.
And most men will vote for Trump.
I think that's about right.
This is about policies, this is about world affairs, this is about economics. It's not about will most women do this, will most men do that.
Well, actually, you know what? Trump's people have made it about women by taking away the ability for them to have abortion. A woman died. I mean, I know I'm just slightly after the news here, but so I'll be brief, and I don't really want to talk about it. This is very, very depressing. A woman just died, and she wasn't the first one. Just the other day in Texas, she was having a baby, and the baby didn't come out right, and so the doctors didn't want to help her. They said, "We can't do anything for you because it might end in the baby's death, and we don't know whether we would get sent to jail for saving you over the baby." And so they both died. And that's the result of the Republicans' insanity with their sort of fundamentalist abortion ban. Oh, anyway, don't get me started on that. American people, hey, wake up. It is much later than you think.
Is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Everything is going extremely well.
Yes, it is. 0345 6060 973. I've just realised that I haven't yet, God, it's over halfway through, and I haven't yet finished up all of the messages that I didn't get to read out last night. And these are just the ones that my glamorous assistant has cut and pasted for me. They aren't even on the foothills yet of the mountain of messages that I've got from yesterday. So here's the last three. This says, just dropped off some millionaires. When I mentioned the new budget and that I was very happy with it, I was told that I'm stupid and that it will bankrupt small and middle businesses. Yeah, no, it won't. And if it does, then those businesses probably didn't deserve to be businesses anyway. I'll say it again. If your business depends on you paying your workers less than they can afford to live on, then your business maybe isn't worth saving. Frank in Darwin says, good morning, Nick. Every time I hear Trump's voice, or even anything to do with Trump, the Laurel and Hardy cuckoo theme springs to mind. And finally from yesterday, I think the reason they're talking about, or taking, and this is private schools, I think the reason that they are taking the government to court is because they're hoping that the judges will favour them, as judges are the beneficiaries of private schools themselves. Yes, they are. The vast majority of judges went to private schools. I can't remember the exact number, so I'll make it up. 86% of judges went to a private school. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually believable. Yeah. Cobham. Sharon.
Hello.
Yes, Sharon.
Yes, sorry, I've been waiting so long, I've forgotten. But no, it's completely a bit of a random that I don't understand. That I've been in Thailand and Spain recently, and I'm there. Apparently, I can't mention my provider, and constantly I'm on 5G, and I get back to the UK, and I rarely get 5G, and then I get a bit of 4G and 3G, and I just don't get it.
It's amazing. I tell you what I don't really understand is when I get a call from somebody from one of those places that you've mentioned, thousands and thousands of miles away, and they'll be speaking to me on their mobile phone, and it will come through as though they're in the room with me. It's so clear.
Exactly.
And then I'll get a call from somebody over the road, and I can barely hear a word they're saying.
Exactly. My daughter will phone me from literally a mile away, and it's cutting out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Why? I don't understand it. And my granddaughter actually just was Googling for me that we're the 5th richest country in the world, and Thailand is the 26th.
Yeah, right.
Country. And their technology, I don't get it.
They're just far
how
superior.
Does it work?
I've got no idea. Nothing works properly in this country at all.
No. And I'm just it. Well, I've been tonight. I was trying to, being on Safari, Googling, and it's whatever it says, the provider cannot download or something, and I'm what? It's unbelievable, and I
actually
don't know,
is
I just
unbelievable.
Just to say that I was so cross.
Yes, with justification.
Yeah, and I don't understand. You probably can't answer for me.
I've
but I
got
just
no
wanted
idea.
To say it.
No, everything is screwed up in this country, and I suppose it's Labour's fault because they've been in 14 weeks.
I don't like Labour. I don't like Labour, but you can't blame it on them.
They should have fixed all of the problems that were caused by the Tories over the last 14 years.
So you're blaming it on the Tories?
Of course.
Ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous, Sharon. It's the truth. You can't handle the truth. That's the problem. Anyway, I've got to go. Cheers, my dear. Get your phone sorted out. Yeah, nothing works in this country. It's just probably Jeremy Corbyn's. It's Meghan Markle's fault. Yeah, thanks a lot, Meghan Markle. When will you stop interfering with our business? Here, now. Blimey, we got messages from tonight now. Here we go. How many have I got? Oh, you're kidding. Scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and I can't read all of those. It's like Nick reads people's messages show. Dan says Trump is telling everybody he's going to get back the American dream. I thought he told us that the American dream had sadly passed away. There's no evidence that Donald Trump ever said that the American dream was dead.
The American dream is dead.
Andrew in Penzance says, divisive woman who can't get a majority of her own party voters will unite the Tories and win a majority at the next election. In other news, hell freezes over and Boris Johnson is caught on tape telling the truth.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Oh, that'll never happen. Yeah, the truth.
Read my lips, we will not be raising taxes on income or VAT or national insurance.
Yeah, that wasn't true either. Yeah, Kemi Badenoch. And I wonder which of the remaining stars of the Tory party are going to be joining Kemi Badenoch as she chases Nigel Farage in a race to the bottom. I mean, they used to call the most famous and long-serving MPs big beasts, didn't they? But they don't really have any of those left, do they? It's just a selection of crackers, like a tin of cheese biscuits. James Cleverly, seen as the favourite for leader until his eviction in the final round of voting by MPs last month, announced he will not take a job in the shadow cabinet. So we will be denied his Cleverly-ness.
Oh, no.
Former Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, he said he won't seek to serve. He's decided to spend more time opening his eyelids so wide they meet at the back of his head. Ex-Deputy MP, PM rather, no, he wasn't ex-Deputy PM, that's right, Oliver Dowden. He's rumoured to be leaving the Commons altogether. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, which one's Oliver Dowden? Don't worry yourself, it's too late to notice him now. The ex-Dear leader, Techi Sunak, He's insisted he will not leave Parliament and is expected to return to the backbenches. Anybody believe that?
No.
No. He'll return to the back bench of one of his kitchens in one of his houses with a sea view in California. That I can believe. Can you tell us what plans you've made, Fishy?
No, I don't recall.
He doesn't recall.
I don't recall. Yeah, I
can't remember.
I can't specifically recall.
It's just slipped his mind.
Precisely recall.
No, can't recall.
No, I don't remember
You
that.
don't
but
remember.
I don't precisely.
Not
I can't
precisely.
remember it precisely.
No, okay. Give it a rest. Kemi Badenoch said in her speech, I want to thank Rishi. No one could have worked harder in such difficult times. Okay, you know, I take that back. Maybe Kemi Badenoch does have a sense of humour. She said, Rishi, thank you for everything you did. We all wish you and your wonderful family the very best for the future. Yeah, don't worry about them. The only thing that Rishi and his family have got to be worried about is being buried beneath a landslide of money. They've done very well. And as for the clapped-out empty shell that is Boris Johnson, he said Kemi would bring zing and zap to the Tories, which is so very him. And a reminder why we don't ever want to see him again, or hear from him again, or read his scribbled column, or buy his book, mountains of which are still available in a bookshop near you. Perfect bonfire lighting material. Recycle, reuse. It's what he wouldn't have wanted. 0345 6060 973. Let's see now. Who's been waiting the longest? I'll be totally fair about this. Ashford. Liam.
Good evening, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Nick, I'm Irish. I've lived in this country for about 50 years.
What do you think of it so far?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
I like English people very much. Been very kind to me.
We're okay.
Yeah. Now, Nick, Gailge is pronounced Gaelga. It's the Irish language. Now,
Gaelga.
Yeah. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it comes out. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. You mentioned the Liverpool goalkeeper Kelleher, and his first name is Quiveen, and that translates as Kevin, so he's Kevin Kelleher. Now, in the same way that Seamus is James, Liam is Bill, and Sinead is Jane. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
So you pronounce Caoimhin as
Quiveen.
As Kevin.
Quiveen, and it translates in English as Kevin, yeah. Absolutely.
Cuisine.
Quiveen, V with a V, yeah. Quiveen.
Right. There's no V in it.
No, I know, but the it's a bit like some German words, you know. The sort of the sound becomes a different vowel.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say,
right.
Nick. And I enjoy your show, and I'm with you 100% on your Trump views.
Okay, good man. Thanks a lot, Liam. There, he's cleared it all up for us.
Correct.
0345 6060 973. Mike in Sutton says, America, is it just an idea that's got a little too far and gotten out of hand? Yeah, well, I think Americanisms maybe have gotten out of hand. This text says, Evening, Nick. In a charity shop today, and for £1.50, I could have purchased a Bojo book, but inside someone wrote making a donation and leave this book. What? Oh, maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it's not this person. Maybe it's me that's screwing it up. Evening, Nick. In a charity shop today and for £1.50, I could have purchased a Bojo book, but inside someone wrote, make a donation and leave this book. Couldn't stop laughing, so I bought a bucket. Well, where would you be without a bucket? And James says, oh, hang on. Wow, that's my tea backing up. That's probably the plastic did it to me. Woo! This entire area is going to have to get wiped down. This says, when I heard the news about Kemi Badenoch being Tory leader, my thoughts were the reorganisation of the rats on the good ship Titanic, says James. Yeah, I think I've made that old stale joke on this show already. Keep up. And Lucy in New York says, I'm in Pennsylvania canvassing for Kamala, going house to house. Not trying to persuade people to change their vote, but just asking why they like a particular candidate. Really? I'm not sure that's a wise idea. Anyway, this one lady who was about 350 pounds in weight, we stopped her and told us ahead of time that she is voting for Trump. When we asked her what policies she liked, she said, when he was in office, Kentucky Fried Chicken, an entire bucket cost $40. Now with Biden in office, it's $75. When I asked her if that's what worries her, she said yes. Not only was she overweight, but she was also holding packs of cigarettes, and she told me they all love him in her neighborhood. Hard to understand, I guess, but they think he is the answer to everything. Yeah, well, they are the answer to everything for Donald Trump.
I love the poorly educated.
Yes, he does, because they keep giving and giving.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbot. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Oh, hello there. Very nice to meet you.
Lee texts, Nick, where are businesses going to find the money for the extra national insurance contributions? Oh, please. It's a tiny amount. And I think you get your first 10 grand free. Anyway, he says, is it from profits? Is it from customers? No, it will come from the workers via suppressed wages and fewer people doing more work for the same pay. You don't need to be a smart person like Donald Trump to figure that one out. Well, you know what? It shouldn't. It should come from profits. It should come from customers. You know, the same people that complain about this stuff, about the budget, are the people who also complain about immigrants coming over here and taking our jobs and doing our jobs for less money than we will. And it's not the immigrants that are at fault here. It's the people who are giving out the jobs who are taking advantage of them to pay them less. So, let's pay more. I'll say it again. If your business is dependent on paying your workers a wage that is so small that they cannot live on it, that in fact the rest of us poor dopes who pay taxes have to then chip in just so they won't starve to death and give them benefits because they're not earning enough. If that is your business plan, to pay your workers such a small amount that they can't live on the wage that they earn, then your business does not deserve to survive. And it should come from customers, because we have become addicted to the benefits of low wages. The same people who complain about low wages are addicted to the goods that they buy that are the price of which is suppressed because the people who provide it are paid abysmally badly. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You either get used to paying more for your stuff or you get used to being paid less. There isn't any other way. And profits is where it should come from. Particularly the companies, the multinational corporations who are making more money than they could possibly have dreamt of before COVID. When COVID came in, the prices of everything went up. And when Russia invaded Ukraine, the price of everything went up. And businesses found that the public would pay those prices. The amount of money that the amount of goods that they were selling did not go down. People were still paying because, you know, by and large, these were things that we relied on for our lives: food, electricity, gas, that sort of thing, the essentials. And when the companies' costs went down, when they could have reduced their prices back to where they were, they didn't. Because why would they? Because they knew that we would pay more. An experiment took place that they perhaps would not have been brave enough to try on them by themselves, the companies. They would not all have said, you know what, let's just jack up the price of everything by 20%. They wouldn't have done that. It would have gone up small amounts, incrementally, year by year. But they were, you could say, forced to put their prices up a massive amount all at once. And they realised, much to their surprise, I bet, that their turnover didn't go down. And so, by extension, their profits went through the roof. And they haven't put their prices down. They've continued to sell at the same rate because they know that we have now essentially got used to it and we will pay those prices. And so they're making more money than they could possibly have dreamed of. So, yes, it should come out of their profits. I'm just so sick of hearing that the super rich whining about their special exemptions being taken away, just a tiny bit. You know, farmers can pass on. I mean, they talk about this £1 million, which is considerably more than anybody else who doesn't own a farm that can pass on. Way more. But it's not even that. In fact, that's not even half of it. For true farms, the £1 million headline is doubled, assuming that it's a married couple. So that's already 2 million. Agricultural property relief. And then they get another £500,000 for each partner if a property is involved. And there's usually a farm house on a farm. So now they're up to 3 million. So you could pass a farm on to your relatives. You can pass it on tax-free to the amount of 3 million. And whatever is above that is taxed at half the rate that the rest of us pay over 325,000. So they're 10 times better off than the rest of us, and they're still complaining. And people who haven't got a farm, who don't understand any of this, they read in the right-wing press that, well, it's absolutely blooming awful what they've done to the farmers and they're ruining the British countryside and we're all going to starve to death. And then they just keep repeating that over and over and over again. Blooming Labour, what we need is a general election. People, wake up. You're being had. When will rich white people ever get a break? Honestly. Painful. I'm just so sick of it. On that subject, here is Lester Hemant.
Oh, Nick, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Nick, I've just done a bit of homework, right? This is going to astonish you.
Yes.
After Jan came on, Get Well Soon, I liked it and I was number 13 to like it. Now, you've gone, the likes are 55.
Wow.
And it's been viewed now 469
million times. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
469 million times. Can you believe that?
No. Anyway,
yeah.
What you were just speaking about, all day I've been trying not to listen to LBC, and the only thing I've been hearing about the farmers, whinging about all the inheritance they're going to lose, they've got to lose this,
painful.
And it is painful.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of it.
Some solutions.
Yes.
Anything to calm my mind, because I don't want to hear about them, because at the end of the day, they're not working hard enough.
Did you say that you have some solutions?
No, I thought you might give me some solutions to calm my mind, because I'm sick of them.
Sit on the floor with your legs crossed and put the ends of your fingers together and go.
I've tried that.
No, doesn't work?
I did the yoga. That didn't work.
Yeah. Have you tried yogurt?
Nope.
Have you tried refreshments?
Booze?
Of any kind?
I don't drink.
You don't drink? Oh, blimey. Well, force yourself. You never know, you might like it.
I might have some lamb chops.
Some lamb chops. Oh, again with the lambs. Poor little things. Bouncy, 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 full of the joys of spring, and then someone, to death.
Yeah, well. Anyway, Nick, I have to leave it there because...
your brain's about to explode. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
All right, thanks a lot, Hemant.
Yeah, but they need a good solicitor or a new lawyer, I know.
They need an accountant. They need an accountant to tell them that all is not lost. You're still being treated much more generously than any other person in this country. Stop complaining.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Hemant. Mind you, if you were fiddling around a cow's nethers day and night, you'd probably be in a mood too. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on WhatsApp, then the number is the same as the phone. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah! This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy.
Now I don't have to watch Match of the Day. Now I know all of the results. I don't have to waste my time watching Match of the Day.
Thank you.
This text says, "Hi Nick, hope this reaches you in time. If you received a call from the Azerbaijan Tourist Board, they're going to try to persuade you to visit their climate zones." Too late, I've already booked my flight. Graham says, "The way to make peace with a dictator is to surrender to his demands. This is the only way Trump can end the Ukraine war. So if Putin's useful idiot gains power, appeasement will be the order of the day, and the world's dictators will be laughing their cotton socks off." Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. On the plus side, Donny knows all about wind and gets extra points when he fails a simple intelligence test. Yeah, fails an intelligence test, Donny.
Oh, shut up!
But he does know about wind.
I know a lot about wind.
A lot about wind.
I know a lot about wind.
Nobody knows more about wind than I do. Everybody says that. They say, "Sir, nobody knows more about wind than you." I say thank you. Nick from Wellington in New Zealand says, "Further to your message regarding math and maths, can you tell me what the plural is for the Portuguese man of war? Is it Portuguese men of war? Or is it Portuguese man of wars?" I think it's probably Portuguese's men's of wars. Isn't it? Yes. That is the noise that dictates correctness. You're welcome. Glasgow. Hello, Anne.
Hello, Nick.
Anne.
Forgot your name there.
That's all right.
I'm so excited.
Yes, Anne.
Yeah, have a great show as usual.
Thanks.
I was quite horrified this week. I was speaking with my nephew. Now, my nephew's, he's not a young boy, he's 34.
Yeah.
And he's intelligent and got a good job. And we were just talking, and I said to him, what moron would vote for Trump? And he said, I think Trump would make a good president again.
Oh, no.
And I went, what? And so I said to him, what makes you think that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's of a generation where they don't pay their TV licence, so they don't get the mainstream media, as they call it.
Oh, right, the MSM.
Yes, the MSM. So he goes online and gets fed all of the...
propaganda.
It's quite worrying.
Yeah, it is.
Because, I mean, he's up in his politics, and fortunately, he's quite sensible in this country. He voted Labour and hates the Tories. But I just don't understand. And I'm like, do I disown him?
Well, I think you have to revisit the he's intelligent part of your opinions of him, because I'm not sure that that's true.
Yeah, but they can be brainwashed, can't they?
Yes, and you go down the rabbit hole, and I've talked about this before. it's kind of tiring because these people are tiring. But
yeah, but when it happens to one of your own that you don't think that they can be turned like that. You know, you don't think that they could be influenced as badly.
Yes.
I ended up...
Go on.
I had an argument with him, and the last thing I said to him was, ask your girlfriend then. She would vote for Trump.
Yeah, that'll set him straight. Exactly. Good work, Anne. But he can't vote there, though, can he? Right?
He's 34.
No, but
he can't vote. Mind you, my father was American.
Yeah, right, so maybe he could. Yeah. Right, well, OK, fingers crossed that he doesn't.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's any intentions.
Yes, men, ask your women folk what they think and then act accordingly. It was probably a good plan for life. All right, thanks a lot, Anne.
Right, cheers.
Cheers, my dear. Ta-da. 0345 6060 973. This says, any idea why people suddenly care about farmers this week? Is it because Jeremy Clarkson is pretending to be one? The same people that seem to be in uproar about farmers and the budget appear to be the ones that couldn't give a stuff about them when they voted for Brexit. Correct, Amundo. Yes. How's Brexit working out for you farmers, by the way?
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. Are those green fields hoved into view yet?
No.
No. There's still time. Another 50 years, eh, Smug?
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I think 50 years is what he said. I have to wait 50 years for the benefits. Isn't it exciting? Peter in Finland says, I've studied the budget and it's fair. Nothing extreme. Just putting things a little bit more right for the people of the UK. Correct. That's right. We need a Finnish person to tell us. Yeah, the right-wing press have been flailing around, as have the Conservative Party themselves, ever since the election. And I think it's that they just find it incredible that the British public have been so impertinent as to vote for another party than the Tories. They just can't quite get to grips with that. And they've been sort of acting like a toddler whose lollipop has been ripped out of its mouth. And they're just complaining about everything and throwing blame around as though, and I knew that it would happen, and I said it on the air, that Keir Starmer will barely have his knees under the desk in number 10 when the right-wing press and the Conservative Party themselves will be blaming Labour for everything that is wrong in the country. God, you've been there for an hour and you haven't fixed it yet. And they've been saying that on a daily basis ever since. And I didn't listen to the budget speech because, boring. I never do. You just read the bullet points the next day in the newspapers. And it all looked pretty good to me. It all looked like something that a party that is acting in the interest of the country rather than in the interests of their donors would do. Minimum wage increase, state pension, triple lock. 12 million pensioners will gain £470 next year. It's going to be uprated by 4.1%. And there's your winter fuel allowance covered right there. Fuel duty, the temporary cut was going to stay because they thought that, while the cost of living remains high, it would be the wrong choice to put it up. So far, what's to complain about? National insurance going up by 1.2%. I mean, come on. If your business is so precarious that it's going to be ruined by that, then some other gust of wind is going to blow your company over anyway. Capital gains tax. The lower rate rises from 10% to 18%. The higher rate from 20% to 24%. So the people who make their money from putting their feet up and smoking a cigar while their assets increase in value, they're still being treated more generously than us poor dopes who have to go to work and, get our fingernails dirty. I'm not including myself in that. My fingernails do not get dirty while I'm doing this job. They get dirty in other ways later on.
Disgusting.
But, the rich still get a deal. Capital gains. Inheritance tax. Oh, well, so much has been bleated on about that. but farmers still get a better deal. They get to pass on 10 times what everybody else gets. So just shut up about it. Air passenger duty, £2 for an economy. It will rise by no more than £2 for an economy class short haul flight. £2. Oh God, that guy from Ryanair was complaining about this yesterday. I had detailed files. He was going on and on and on about it. Oh, I'm going to have to shut half of my airline, and and it's always this is all going to hurt you more than it hurts me. If you try to take some of my money, it's going to hurt you. They say. Farmers will say, well, you're going to starve to death because we're just going to stop producing food. Business owners will say, well, I'm not going to start any more businesses because at some point in the future I might have to pay more tax. Ridiculous. Of course they won't. Anybody with the assets of more than, I don't know, £10 million to say, right, well, that's it, we're leaving. We're going to go and live in Dubai. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Go and spend the rest of your life yearning for everything that you could have back home in some baking hot hellhole just so you can spend more time cuddling your balance sheet. You only get one life. You only go around once. And if you've got enough money to be able to leave, then you've got enough money to stay. Alcohol duty. But they didn't do anything at all, other than give a small fillip to the trade. I mean, that 1p on a pint wasn't for you, it was for them. Tobacco duty, fine, keep rising it. Stamp duty, for second homes. They're not going to affect hardly anybody. Corporation tax remained at 25%. Non-dom regime, yeah, get rid of it, because people like this government, they don't need to save more in tax. Income tax stays the same. Spending on defence, schools and councils, up and up. The NHS, a 10-year plan, an actual real-life plan to save it, rather than to see it crumble to the ground. And spending on infrastructure, the things that we rely on. It looks pretty good to me. And it seems like I'm the only one saying it. Everybody else is like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Can you believe it? Typical blooming Labour. General election now.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbott. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Everything is going extremely well.
What gap? This text says, wait a minute. David says, hi Nick, well, Kemi is going to run the Tories. That is plenty of future material guaranteed for you. I'm sure there will be absolutely no more drama whatsoever with the Conservatives from this point onwards. What could possibly go wrong for them now? Yeah, I know. The best of luck to everyone who sails in that ship. You're going to need it. Hitchin, Matt. Hitchin,
oh, hello.
Matt, there you are. Yes,
hello,
sir.
Nick. Yep, sorry, I just came in unannounced. All right. Urs and I. Right, I'm a head of finance. I've been in finance for God knows how many years. And what people don't get...
You're the head of finance?
Yeah, I am a head... not a head of it, a head of finance. But anyway, I've worked with...
A head of finance, okay.
A head of finance, or finance manager, whatever. So, the point being that people see 1.2%, think that's okay, until they do the maths. And then the threshold reduction is the absolute killer. I might have let out a bit of a swear when I heard it on the budget. Mm-hmm. So, a quick example. Got an employee on $27,000 a year, average kind of wage. Their actual Urs and I cost to the business is going up 1/3.
Right.
It's not 1.2%. Because of the reduction in the threshold, that means that our overall bill is going to go up by $36,000 a year for 30 people.
Can I just say that £27,000 a year is probably too small an amount to pay somebody as a full-time employee, it being less than the average?
It's an example, Nick. Well, if I take our entire payroll, then we've got some very, very skilled engineers, and they might average between 40 and 50 grand a year. That was just an example.
Right.
So our bill is going to go up by 36,000 a year from about 170.
And what's your
profit?
What's your profit per year? Last year, what was the
it's going to
profit?
be less.
Well, yes.
No, not enough. And what it will mean...
What is it? Give us a figure.
I'm not going to give you that figure, you know.
Or is it over $1 million?
No, it's not. It's nowhere near it.
It sounded like a yes to me.
We've got 30 people.
Right.
So I did the same as my wife, who works for a hospice, and they've got 120 members of staff and still have to pay hers and I like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
So their bill's going to go up by over £120,000 this coming year, and they can only find that through fundraising. So the question is, who the hell is going to give them another 120 grand? And the third example is my son that works in a call centre where most of the people are on minimum wage. So the minimum wage is going to go up to £12.24 or whatever it is.
Right.
So that pushes the price up there.
Well, you must be happy about that, surely.
Yeah, great. But the business is then going to face an hers and I cost of an increase of £300,000.
Okay, so who should pay the tax then that is required to fix our broken state services?
You cannot, unless you've got a stone for a brain, just stick it on companies below, let's say, 250 people. Because what it's going to do is absolutely cripple the small to medium-sized companies. And my final point on that is that my son's business that he works in, they're going to face 300 grand additional cost this coming year. And if they make 30 points a deal, because they're all in sales, that's another £1 million in sales they've got to do with the same existing staff.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter who gets who gets to pay more. They always complain, regardless of what kind of great deal they were getting before. 865,000 small businesses are going to be exempt under the changes to the employment allowance, and the allowance is rising from 5,000 to 10,500. So you won't pay any national insurance until the bill for national insurance goes over 10,500. It seems pretty fair to me, but you can pick individual instances and claim that your life has been ruined by this new Labour government, but I just don't buy it, Matt. Overall, it's looked like a pretty good deal to me for most of the people in this country. But anyway, I hear your concerns, and I hope it all works out well for you. Unless everybody's taxes had been reduced, everybody would have. People would still have been complaining. I mean, even if they had reduced everybody's taxes, they still would have been complaining. Can we agree that taxes are required to be paid to provide for the things that most of us require, like schools, police, the NHS, buses, trains, the care service, all of the rest of it? And who's going to pay for it? As individuals, they went on a manifesto that they weren't going to increase the national insurance, VAT, or income tax on individuals. And that's what people voted for, and that's what they've done. The taxes that they have raised are pretty small beer in almost every case. The only people that have actually suffered significantly are the non-DOMs, and who's going to break out a violin for them? 0345 6060 973. Chris and Priscilla in Rio de Janeiro says, we missed your weather forecast. We'd like to know whether it's still raining in Glasgow. I'm not going to look it up, Chris and Priscilla. I'm just going to have to assume that the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This says, regarding women's shoes, as Kylie once sang in 2005, a girl's got to suffer for fashion. She knows what her body can do, ooh, ooh. Kylie. Explain the success of Kylie Minogue to me in words that I can understand, because I just don't get it. I saw her on TV once doing some concert thing, and I saw a brief moment of it, and I reached for the remote as soon as she came on, and I thought, just wait a minute and just see. And she looked like an emotionless robot trying to do Madonna. Awful. And I just don't get it. Don't get it. This says, I've got a solution for your UK weather winter blues. Swap homes with your co-podcaster Carol McGiffin and deliver your broadcasts from a better climate. Conversely, she can spend the winter in your newly renovated property with a new loo. She is definitely not going to use my new loo.
Disgusting.
Awful. No. No. Not now, not ever, never. If she ever comes around to visit, I'll point her in the direction of Tesco's down the road. They've got one in there. 0345 6060 973. Oh, here we are again. Have I done the break? He's going to look up. He's going to look into it. He's going to look into it very strongly. I don't think he's even listening to me. Is it in there listening to Classic FM? I know it's very relaxing. I'm trying to do a show here. Ashford, Charlie.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I mean, I am a plumber, but I'm not going to go into your personal plumbing effects. So
Right.
Let's move on.
I'm buying a radiator. Can you buy any what do you call them? What do you call those twisty things that go on the bottom of a radiator? Valve.
What?
Can you buy any
little
valve
valves.
that goes on a radiator?
Yeah, bleed valves. Any sort of screw fix, you'll be sorted, pal.
Right.
£2, £3.
A what valve?
A bleed valve.
Right. See, already it's getting too technical. I don't want to ask anybody for a bleeding valve.
Listen.
They might
Well,
throw me out of their shop.
You listen to me, right? I got introduced to Global Player the other day by a grandchild, and I saw Energy Mar in the flesh.
Yes.
Live. But
In person?
Well, not in person, but I got to see him live speaking.
Yeah.
Why don't I get to see you live?
Well, there's a very good reason for that. And it is that I do not work in that studio. That studio is like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. It is a fabulous facility.
With Andrew Marr?
In which I am not allowed to step. They don't let me in there.
What do you mean? You'd be perfect in there.
No, I would not. No, I wouldn't have any
Yes,
idea.
you
No,
would.
it's just full of buttons and knobs. I wouldn't know what any of them do. No, I'd be totally lost.
You look so much better. And again, you'd relinquish your... the plumbers hate you right now. Do not contact a plumber.
Some of those words sounded like they were in English, but I didn't really understand any of them. It's like they just sort of tripped out of your mouth and fell on the floor in a heap. What?
Plumbers hate you right now.
Oh.
It's your stance.
My stance.
On the tradies using the toilet.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, they can go ahead and hate me all they like.
Well, yeah, but we know where you live. That's a bit of a threat. I don't mean that.
Yeah. Well, you know where I live, and so you can deliver those screw valves first thing in the morning, yes?
Well, I apologise. I do not want the...
not on a Sunday, yeah, I know.
I don't want the FBI coming.
Right, okay. All right, good work. Thanks a lot, Charlie. This text says, the Earth would be grateful if we disappeared for good, so destructive as a species and greedy. Not exactly a prime example of keeping the Earth on track. Long live animals who live by the law of the Earth. Lore. And Alan in Crawley says, I bought Johnson's book a week after release from a local shop. The lady on the till said it was the first she'd sold. Unsurprisingly, I found it unreadable. I'm not a fan. I just collect the memoirs of former prime ministers. Interestingly, the Lisbot's 10 Years to Save the West is listed as fantasy on Wikipedia.
That is a disgrace.
It is a disgrace, Liz. That woman looks permanently stunned, doesn't she? She looks surprised wherever she sits or walks. She looks as though she's been hit in the head. She looks like, and I can't get past this description, a shop window mannequin that's been mounted on a robot vacuum cleaner. is just a very alarming person. It's like she's not real. Like she's some sort of AI construct.
Affirmative.
Like she's not human. Like somebody has scooped out her skull and left it empty. There's just something very, very odd about it. I'm quite unclear about what it is.
I'm genuinely unclear.
She doesn't know either. Andy in Walthamstow says, beer in the 1970s was awful. Double Diamond, Rennie's in Birmingham pub toilets, camera improved things 1980s onwards. Rennie's in Birmingham pub toilets. What does that mean? Do you mean they had machines that dispensed Rennie's upset stomach medicine in the toilets in Birmingham? Is that what you mean? Rennie's? That's not a good sign, is it? I mean, you don't want to go to a place that sells beverage and or food if the thing that they're dispensing in the toilets is something to calm your stomach down after you've imbibed it. That is a sign.
Warning, warning.
You're in the wrong place.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us.
Your call is important to us. Highbury. Hello, Kieran.
Good morning, Nick.
Yes, Kieran.
Yes, with the election just 2 days away, it just occurred to me that while the United States is the world's number one economy, it really is a backward country when it comes to social policies.
Yes.
Take the gun control situation.
Well, there is no control.
The abortion restrictions.
Yes.
And the death penalty, which still exists.
Right.
And I noticed recently that a man on death row for 34 years was finally executed. And he actually was hired when he was 24 years of age to kill a woman. Now, if that was any other country, such as Bolivia, Chile, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Germany, that chap would have been rehabilitated.
Well, he wouldn't have been killed. Rehabilitated is probably not the right word. They might have tried to. Whether he would be or not is up to him and the methods that they were going to use to try to bring him round. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's a very rich and sort of forward-looking country on the edges. Most of the middle is very backward. Yeah, and the people there aren't very educated.
I love the poorly educated.
And it's pretty bad, actually. I mean, it's like third world stuff in some places in the middle of America. And the less educated they are, the more likely they are to vote Republican, which is why Donald Trump does so well with them, because he talks their language, by which I mean he uses very few words. Almost all of them are one syllable, and his sentences are very short. And he's just as I don't know what's the word, as sort of blunt and unkind and uncaring as they are. They see them in him. That's what they like about him. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Yes.
I mean, to say like that, they describe the Labour Party in this country as far left.
Yeah, that's just
in my
ridiculous.
opinion, anyway, they need somebody, quite a number of people there, advocating progressive policies, at least as an argument.
Well, Bernie Sanders is very good on progressive policies. He couldn't get elected as a president any more than Jeremy Corbyn could get elected as the Prime Minister of this country. Partly because the vested interest in the right-wing press, as we recall from Jeremy Corbyn, they just level their guns at him and pound away on a daily basis. Anything that's in the newspaper that was not slagging off Meghan Markle was slagging off him. And the same would be true in America. So I think what we've got is sort of left of centre, and hoping with fingers crossed that that's what America gets.
Yes, indeed, yes. For the sake of the rest of the world as well.
Correct.
For example, the situation in Afghanistan with starving children, and indeed the chaos that exists in the Middle East as we speak.
And Ukraine, of course. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Kieran. 0345 6060 973. Martin in Lim says, you are a typical champagne socialist, drinking in an establishment that charges £21 for pints. Dear, dear, dear. Well, it wasn't £21 for 1 pint. It was 2 pints, including a service charge. And the people behind the bar weren't millionaires. They were probably getting minimum wage. So I was helping in that regard, and I don't really understand that champagne socialist thing. First of all, it wasn't champagne, it was beer. And the second, what difference does it make? Are you saying that I can't suggest on the one hand that society would be better off if wealth were more easily distributed, and on the other hand, enjoy the occasional luxury, that the two cannot exist in the same person without attracting cries of that I'm a champagne socialist, that I'm some sort of hypocrite? It's just, I don't get it, Martin. So only people who don't care about anybody else can have luxuries. Is that what you mean? You're not allowed to drink champagne if you care about anybody else. Is that your point? Because if so, I think you'd better think it out again. Anita in London says, how do I watch LBC? Somebody mentioned how Nick looks with his poppy, implying that there is a camera in the studio, but I don't have a watch option on LBC, only listen. No, they were kidding, Anita. They couldn't see me. You can watch LBC on Global Player, but not when I'm on, for the technical reason that I am not allowed into the Starship Enterprise. Actually, the real reason is that you can't play... I sit where the engineer normally sits. So even if I was in that studio, you still wouldn't be able to see me because I'd be through the glass, and all the cameras would be pointing at the guy who answers the phones, who would be sitting in the hot seat there. Because you can't play the sound effects from the big room. You have to be where the engineers sit, because that's how the place is wired. So I'm like the Swiss Army knife of radio. I do the producing and the technical engineering, the tech op, and the presenting, and the writing, and all of the rest of it. And I do it from where the engineer sits, in my little booth upstairs from the main room. And I like it in here. I like it like this. Feel all comfortable and squishy and warm. So no, you can't see me, but you can see almost everybody else. You'll be able to take a peek at Clyde Bull later on Global Player, but not me. And the reason that you can't see me in the engineering side is because why would you want to point a camera at engineers? Plus, I don't want to be on camera. Nobody needs to see me.
Correct.
Well, let's take some calls instead of just endlessly reading texts over and over and over again. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi.
Yes, Jan.
And how are you?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for taking my call. Listen, Nick, there's a couple of things that have really...
Couple of three things.
No, a couple of things that have blown me away.
Blown your mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's to do with... I'm so shocked to learn that I've always thought GPs... I've just learned today, for the first time, that GPs are actually... GP surgeries are run as businesses. So they're already in a crisis. So they're going to say quite a lot of them are going to be closing when they've got to pay this business thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure they will. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
a lot of them are run as businesses by American corporations.
Well, I don't know.
But that's another issue.
Run. But I know that, like, most of them are in a bit of a crisis, aren't they? They can't cope with the demands. Well, I know that. I mean, they haven't even got so many doctors left. My GP place, which has something like 2,000 clients, so most of them left. You know, most of the GPs have gone abroad or so to get more money.
Right. Well, I think the Labour Party has done its best so far to make sure that happens less. I mean, they've gone abroad for a variety of reasons, and it would take a lot to propel you to leave the country. I mean, particularly if you're not, the sort of super rich who can just close their laptop and then open it in the Bahamas or someplace like that.
Well, all the male doctors in the surgery that I go to, they all left. There's only one male doctor left and all of them are women, and they're not even doctors. I've been there and thought I've been seeing a doctor.
They're not even doctors? Well, what are they?
No. Well, assistant.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Training.
Oh, blimey.
Morning.
Yeah, no, I'd be very, very concerned about that if I were you, Jan.
Yeah, I am. But the thing is that they're on the point of collapsing, a lot of them. But maybe the government's going to do something to, they say they might do something to reimburse them. That's one thing I wanted to say. But the second thing that is also, because I know people who are suffering because they can't get proper social care help. The social care and what's happening with there's about 2 million. The figure that I got was 2 million older people are living without social care help.
Yeah.
That's
are you saying this in relation to anything that has happened on this show so far, or you just called in to bring us all down?
This is in relation to the budget. This is in relation because it's saying that the older people who are holding up, who are staying in hospital beds because there's no social care.
Right. Okay. Can I deal with this kind of thing on my Sunday show when things are less amusing? Have you got anything else?
Well, amusing. You want something amusing?
Yeah. Why don't you amuse me?
All right. I'll go to the American side of things then.
Right.
So what I find it's not really amusing. I think I'm really dreading the results of this.
You're not going to amuse me now.
No, Elon Musk. It's about Elon Musk who's gone crazy for. He's having a bromance. They call it a bromance with Trump.
Yes.
Elon Musk bromance with Trump.
Well, they both got a bromance with money. It's a threesome.
Yeah, and look. Elon Musk has I just found out what MAGA means. MAGA means maybe he's called him on a dark MAGA warrior. He's being referred to as a
just
dark MAGA
found
warrior.
out what MAGA means.
Means make America great again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the journalist is playing around with Darth Vader and MAGA. Anyway, he
Darth Vader. What's Darth Vader got to do with it?
Darth Vader. Play on words, Nick. But look, Musk has put in millions to Trump's.
Yeah, I know
election.
that. Yeah.
He's gone from being a Democrat to being a Trumpist.
Right.
And also the thing is I actually didn't know he looks like he's going to want to rule the world now through Trump because
what is it with billionaires? They don't ever seem to be happy with what they've got. I think it's some sort of sickness. Maybe it's the ink that they use to print notes that is rubbing. They've got so much of it. It's just rubbing off on their fingers and getting into their bloodstream, and it's affecting their brains. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. That billionaires would be unsatisfied with what they've got. I mean, come on. Anyway, Jan, thanks for bringing us all down. Appreciate that. Right at the end of the show. Good work. 0345 6060 973. This says, what I don't understand is why all these farmers are whinging. If they know their kids want to farm for allegedly not much money, then trust them and give them the farm 7 years before they die and pay no tax like everybody else. I suspect that lots of kids of farmers will be all too happy to get rid of the farm when their parents die if it's such a miserably low profit business, but the farm is worth a fortune. How terrible for all of them, boo-hoo. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, if their farm is worth so much and it's not making any money, then get rid of the farm. I mean, for one reason or another, it's not working. Perhaps you're not a very good farmer. If your farm is worth over £3 million and you can't afford a couple of $100,000 as an inheritance tax, passing all of that on, then maybe you're not a very good farmer. Maybe farming is not for you. Oh 0345 6060 973. This says, I'm black and left-leaning. Well, maybe we should stand up straight. I'm pleased but also embarrassed as a Nigerian. Kemi is like current Nigerian politicians that live mostly in the West, in that they are self-serving, incompetent, with incoherent ideas. Kemi also said institutional racism doesn't exist. Black people especially know what she is. Labour should be bloomin' pleased, says that message. Yeah, I've got Kemi Badenoch's victory speech in full, and I'll lay it on you, baby, in just a moment. Oh, there'll be a small pause.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
We're running late.
We are running late. I want to take a call from a person called Genevieve. But first, Kemi Badenoch's victory speech in full. Are you ready? She said, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to start by thanking Richard Fuller for his work as our party chairman since July, and also Bob Blackman as returning officer for this contest. You and your teams have all done us a great service. Thank you. I also want to thank Rishi Sunak for being so in touch and real. I'd also like to pay a special tribute to Robert Jenrick, who I think of as that Dick Emery character, the moronic skinhead. He will always be Robert Gaylord Jenrick to me. I'd also like to thank all the other candidates, Grumpy, Dopey, Bashful, Sleazy, and the Evil Queen, for managing to lose despite the competition they were up against. But mostly, I want to pay tribute to myself. It is the most enormous honour to be me, and I hope that my party will be able to repay the debt they owe me for being Kemi. Thank me very much indeed. The task that stands before us is tough but simple. The time has come to tell the truth, to stand up for our principles, to plan for our future, to reset our politics and our thinking, and to give our party and our country the new start that they deserve. It's time to get down to business. It's time to blame everything on immigrants and benefits claimants, because what works in Clacton can work for the best of Britain too. Heartwarming, isn't it? Andy says, hi Nick, I think that Sunak's final rant at the dispatch box will put him in contention for the worst Thunderbirds puppet on steroids competition. In contention? He's going to win it in a landslide. Lingfield, Genevieve.
Hello, hi.
Genevieve.
That was painful, actually, in my ear.
What was? There's a loud noise in your ear?
Yeah, that wasn't very pleasant, actually.
You're hearing things?
I'm hearing things that you are putting in my ear.
Right.
Anyway. How are we? Sorry about my voice. I have something or other. I don't know what.
Well, I feel your pain. I've had something or other for months and months. But it makes you sound a bit rock and rolly.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it does.
One day, it was really painful. I took a paracetamol and an ibuprofen. I don't know if that's recommended.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
I always do that. I always think like
a
wax
cocktail.
and both.
You have a cocktail of drugs.
Yes, I do, and it's like my own, recommended.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad can you go for 49p. Anyway, so I went,
Never mix your pills, Genevieve.
Well,
particularly
I did.
if they're of different colour.
no, they weren't. They were both white. Not that I'm racist.
No, not racist. Not about your pills, anyway. Right,
No,
carry on.
No, of nothing, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I went with an ibuprofen and a paracetamol, and it really worked. But I've just been left with this. There's no pain, but there's just this sound. It's really flipping annoying.
What sound?
Anyway, but I don't know. I have no idea. There is literally no pain, no nasal thing or sneezing or
Is it
anything.
like tinnitus, a ringing in your ear, like that?
Oh my God.
Maybe you have waxy build-up.
I do not.
Well, how do you know? You don't know that.
Of course I know that.
How can you know? How can you possibly know what's inside your ear hole?
I have loads of people whisper sweet nothings in my ear holes all the time.
But do they
And
peer into your ear hole while they're doing it? Probably not, unless their eyes are down by where their mouth is. What kind of a person is that?
That's the sort of guy I like.
Right.
Anyway,
Yes.
I was going to say, Ozempic, everyone's talking about Ozempic.
Oh, right, yeah. The what do they call them? The semi-glutides. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that.
I think that's the medical. Don't ask me because all I know is what's on the internet.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor either, but I think they're called semi-glutides, something like that.
Well, all I've heard in the last couple of weeks on the radio is like the people talking about why they are taking those injections.
Right.
And I've heard from what I've gathered is it is a drug that you inject into yourself and it makes you not fancy food. So I just wondered, you never talk about food like biscuits or anything. What do you think you would miss?
Pizza.
Oh, right, straight up. Which one? Marguerite?
Well, I homemade pizza mostly, but
You make a pizza?
yeah, from scratch.
Really?
When you said really, your voice went so high, only dogs could hear you.
My dog didn't even hear it. He's sitting right next to me.
He's used to it. Yeah, pizza.
Probably.
But, I like a Pizza Express. I would miss
No,
that.
you don't.
I do.
You go to, what would you like, what was that one called? I used to like Al Polo or something.
Well, the last one...
Ad Astra. No, what was it called?
Ad Astra.
Astra Al Polo or something.
Which branch are you going to? The one in outer space? Ad Astra? No, they got a nice one that's meatballs. Have it extra crispy.
A meatballs one?
Meatball pizza.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
so
the
that's what you'd miss.
Giardinara.
Oh yeah, Giardinaro.
The Veneziana. That's really nice. I had the calzone.
You're reading off someone's popped it up on your screen.
No way. This is all off memory. I know what's on that menu. Believe me. I've been so many times. But, that's what I'd miss, mostly. I mean, I'm not really into steaks because it's just the same bite all the way through the meal, isn't it?
But you never talk about biscuits or chocolate bars or anything. So you're not really a food person, are you?
I am a food person. I like a particular type of chocolate.
Which one?
Well, without mentioning brand names, it's called Amadei.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Italian. And there's there's a bar called Porcelana, which is the best chocolate I have ever had in my life.
But do you have to have it every day?
Well, it's very, very expensive, so it would be usually as a present from somebody else.
What? This is so specific.
I thought you were asking me specific questions.
I know, but you've never mentioned any of this before.
Well, I probably mentioned the chocolate before, and I have mentioned pizza before. Other than that, chips. Who doesn't like chips? I'm pretty certain that chips have got drugs in them. But the method of frying potatoes does produce some sort of drug that has a spangling effect on the brain. Yeah, pretty sure about that.